Good morning. It is Friday. We made it through another week, and I hope everybody survived it. Big weekend news, and we had Uncle Ben and his boys, and now we got to see how they reacted to the commodity markets. You know, last week we had a pretty big up move across the board in commodities. Now, is that truly, or did we truly find the bottoms, or was that just strictly a spot where we were getting a dead cat bounce and we had some short covering rallies? I will go with the short covering rallies, as I do believe that oil and gold are truly starting to break down, and I'm looking for those commodities to work their way lower. As we look at the grain markets, we see that the grain markets themselves are really in bear markets. And I think that's important to understand the difference. In bear markets, you do get vicious rallies that will pop the market up, but it's really just a rally within a bear market. The longer term trend in most of the commodity space is now lower. So our job is to look at our chart and find opportunity to sell those up at resistance levels. You have to focus on what your task is, and we are looking at the space. And as you take a look at gold, gold made a double top a year and a half ago at 1900, and now is trading in the 1400s, looking to go lower. Crude oil, 5 years ago made a high at 140, so we're still only at $94. You have to understand the overall trend of these is working their way lower. So as we look at the space, take a look at the bond market. The bonds continue to go higher. That's telling you that there's some fear in the overall market. That's a place where money goes. Money goes into commodities when times are good and people are looking for alternative asset classes to invest into. And that is not the case right here. The U.S. dollar and the U.S. Treasury bonds are much too strong for that to continue. So what we're looking for is opportunities to sell these spaces. As usual, on Friday, I look to make my predictions. And this week we are going to talk about the markets. We look for the general markets to be lower. We look for the commodity markets. I think you'll see gold start to sell off a little bit here again now. I think that you'll see oil, which had a major short squeeze last week, up around, if it gets near that 94, 95 level, you want to be a seller. I think the grains will continue to work their way lower. I think we're now coming into a time, and after today's unemployment number, you will see that the market should get some pretty big reaction. So when we look at it, let's look for a little bit of a softer across the board. Look for money to be coming out of markets and going into probably the bond market, some safer asset classes, or even to somebody's mattress. But that's what we'll be looking for. Look for a softer market. I think that's what we're going to see. And a lot of that will depend on what's said. But remember, always be ready to react. We don't want to predict. We want to be able to jump in and get with the overall market. For Friday, have a great weekend. The Bubba Show. We'll see you Monday.